So on the occasion of the 77th Independence Day, a very happy Independence Day to all our viewers in India and around the world, the Prime Minister making an impassioned plea from the ramparts of the Red Fort. This is his 10th speech as Prime Minister on Independence Day, and he's made an impassioned call for a Viksit Bharat or a developed India by 2047. He's talked about social ills that need to be got rid of in the path therein. But joining us now for a very special interview on what the Prime Minister spoke about and some of the pending issues that are facing the country and the government is Honorable Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Thank you very much, ma'am, for speaking with us here on this very special occasion, and a very happy Independence Day to you.
Thank you very much, Zaka, and good to talk to you.
Ma'am, let me start with the Prime Minister's speech. He made an impassioned plea for a Viksit Bharat or a developed India by 2047. And he said that while we need to get there, some of the social ills that we need to get rid of, dynastic politics, corruption, appeasement. Just moments ago, the opposition had a meeting and they are saying the BJP also has those ills. So what is the difference? Could you explain to our viewers why you believe that these are the three biggest impediments to India's growth and India's journey to a developed country?
I'm shocked to know that the opposition has said that. I'm hearing it from you for the first time. So my first response is shocked. I'm shocked to know because dynastic politics, meaning more a family-driven politics, corruption and appeasement are those three very dangerous things in politics which we are very opposed to. How come the Congress or any opposition party who you were referring to are saying that BJP also has this? Does any one family hold control of BJP? Has it ever, or has it now? Is it now being held by any one family? It's very well to say, oh, you have some so-and-so's son or so-and-so's daughter in your party and therefore you're also parivarvad. Not at all. When we talk about parivarvad, and into it is also embedded the dynastic-vaad, it's the same family which over the generations controls the entire party. That is the parivarvad which we are talking about. BJP doesn't suffer from it. It has never suffered it. And it is not just the Congress party. There are other parties as well, some of them regional as well. After all, they are all now party to some ... party. So today all of them have become part of this ... alliance. But they suffer from parivarvad. So that is my understanding of parivarvad. One party holding the control of a party in toto, and every decision is surrendered to them and the ultimate veto is in their hands. That's the parivarvad we are talking about. One. The corruption. It's again absolutely ridiculous that they seem to think BJP also suffers from it. 9 years in Delhi as Prime Minister, and before that as CM in Gujarat. Please tell me, has there been a whiff of corruption anywhere? So when the opposition speak, and in a very loose fashion, they also are, when they're putting these allegations, speaking with irresponsibility. I completely reject this opposition's claim BJP is also. No way, no corruption anywhere near our government. The third, appeasement. We are a government which believes in sabka saath, sabka vikas. In any one of the schemes of Prime Minister, which are people oriented and for the people, whether it's Ujjwala, whether it is PM Swanidhi, or it is the COVID time emergency credit liquidity guarantee scheme, it reached everyone. There was no difference between so and so and so and so, or this person or that person. Whereas we've heard even from the level of the PM once upon a time, that the first charge, if anything, on the budget or the resources of the government belongs to a particular community. That's the appeasement that we are talking about. And that kind of appeasement is the hallmark of earlier UPA governments.
Ma'am, one issue, it's a sensitive issue, it in fact held up the previous session of Parliament as well, is the issue of Manipur, and the Prime Minister talked about it today. What can you say to the people of Manipur, to the viewers who are watching you right now, that both the central government and the state government in Manipur, both belong to the BJP, are doing everything in your power to restore peace in the state?
Absolutely. Prime Minister himself assured on the floor of the House. Home Minister speaking before him assured again. In fact, I would remind the opposition and the people through you that the Home Minister wanted all parties that day present in the Lok Sabha to pass a resolution that all of us are together in this, in wanting peace and harmony in Manipur. The opposition did not even join in this good cause. After all, they've been talking about Manipur and stalling the House. Whether the reply is satisfactory or not, you also forfeited your right to stand up and ask or state your position after the Honorable Prime Minister's speech. You forfeited it. You were the one who brought the no confidence motion. And after that, you didn't even use your chance to stand up and speak. You walked out when the Prime Minister was speaking. You did not even give your view as to why you wouldn't join in giving a resolution, support to a resolution which spoke of giving support to the people of Manipur. So what was all the crocodile tears that the opposition was shedding on Manipur? You don't participate, you don't reply, you don't even use your chance to stand up and say, after all, as a team, this ... alliance went to Manipur. Couldn't they come and speak on what they saw, what they heard? Rahul Gandhi says just 1 or 2 lines, and after that he strays all over the place and goes away. Gaurav Gogoi, who moved or initiated the debate, could not even use his chance to stand up and speak afterwards after the Prime Minister, which was a right he could have fully utilized. So what is all this sympathy for Manipur about which they are talking? They couldn't even support a resolution to support the people of Manipur.
Ma'am, one issue that the opposition has been attacking the Modi government, in particular your ministry with, is on the issue of inflation. And just yesterday we got the CPI figures at 7.44%, which is a 15-month high. What is your government doing to sort of assuage the pain of price rise for poor people, particularly when it comes to essential food items like vegetables?
Absolutely, Zaka. I'm fully seized of what you're asking me. And that is why in the Lok Sabha, when talking about the inflation, I specified the steps that we have taken. I'm not saying that is going to be the end of the story. We will continue to get tomatoes from all those areas or import from Nepal or anywhere else and distribute it at affordable prices to people. Even as we speak, even a couple of days ago, we started this distribution for people in Delhi and also for states which are running short of tomato supplies. About dal, all 3 or 4 varieties, moong, tuar or arhar or urad, we have made sure adequate supplies are imported and they are distributed through NAFED and other such outlets. So on these crops which are perishable, and because there has been a very unpredictable output because of excessive rain, flooding, getting washed out and so on, there has been a shortfall in these perishable goods and vegetables. As a result, there is real hardship, and we have taken this on board, and that is why we are ensuring that we get quickly supplies reaching to people. And this effort will continue, if anything, much more vigorously.
The Prime Minister also emphasized in his speech about how his sarkar is a mazboot sarkar. It's strong on national security. He said there used to be a time when bomb blasts were the order of the day. That time is gone. Nobody talks about serial bomb blasts anymore. The borders are secure. But just moments ago, the opposition leader, Mr. Kharge, has hit back saying, why can't this mazboot sarkar then resolve the issue with China, which has been hanging fire for the last 3 years? Your response?
Hanging fire for last 3 years? Is that what the respected Mallikarjun Kharge is saying? Who was the government or who was in government when huge, was it 70,000 square kilometers of land was lost? And subsequently when there were incursions, there was no statement given. When Congress, I'm not doing a whataboutery here, it's a matter of national security. There is action. You saw the way in which our brave soldiers dealt with the enemy in Galwan. And you also saw post Pulwama how Prime Minister was firmly in the leadership position, and also our armed forces made India proud by undertaking the Balakot. Then there are, of course, different levels of engagement, particularly when it comes to border issues. The talks are going on. It goes on for a very long time. And I'm sure anybody who's been in government in India, in the central government, even for just a year, leave alone the Congress party which has been there for decades, know that such issues as border issues take time to get resolved, because the levels of engagement are at the outposts, at the border checkpost levels, are after that the defense has its own 3-layered system through which they talk. And these are not things which you can report on an everyday basis. So I think it's all right to be in opposition and also keep talking about it because it's Prime Minister Modi. But on security matters, I think BJP in the opposition showed what it is to be responsible opposition and did not press forth on some matters. And I would just quote how the then Defence Minister, who later became President of India, would certainly tell on the floor of the House, these are sensitive matters. I may not be in a position to speak here, but do come to my chamber, I'll give you some kind of an explanation to the question that you've raised. We used to honor that. Now that culture is no more. I find it very, very sad that when they were in power, experienced leaders like former President of India would handle it delicately, and when we try to do it, they accuse Prime Minister of all kinds of things.
Ma'am, I also want to talk about the G20 Summit. India is, of course, hosting that. That's going to happen in the next few weeks. The Prime Minister today said that this is India's time. The next 25 years are the Amrit Kal. But again, the opposition is not buying that, saying that G20 meetings have happened in the past as well, and that India's standing has been improving over the last 30 years. It's not something that has happened just in the last 9. How would you respond to that?
No, well, take the credit for it, no doubt. If you've done it, take the credit equally. Take the credit for the Commonwealth Games, which was ridden with everything which can go wrong. Take the credit for that as well. So, Congress being over ambitious to take credit for everything which has been in India for years, like all the different schemes that they launched, Manrega, even Jan Aushadhi Kendra, are all theirs. But did they succeed in launching it and fully reaching to the people? Where is 80 Jan Aushadhi Kendra of 2014, having launched it in 2008? And where are we today when we are touching 10,000 and hoping to reach 25,000? So I just want to give you this example to say Congress wants a bit of everything for themselves. But in today's India, and actually when people are being lifted from poverty, lifted significantly from poverty. And this is not our claim, it is the statements which are coming from IMF, World Bank and so on. You are actually seeing people getting the benefits in their hands, whether it's the free grain, whether it is the water connection. Haven't we heard about potable water reaching villages? So Congress party can always claim, we've done it even before. But if they had done it, India wouldn't have required from 2014 this kind of an intensive taking programs to the ground, which gets monitored by the Prime Minister every month in the Pragati program. He talks with the district collector saying, tell me what is not reaching you from the central government schemes. I'll ensure that it is tightened and it reaches you. And that is why today we are able to claim that many of these projects have now reached saturation point. So it's okay, I fully grant them that they also launched a lot of things. They held Commonwealth Games, India's pride, you know where it reached. The shanty that was built as Commonwealth Games village, the filth that was in the village, the way in which corruption, bridges broke down in the last minute, and the Indian Armed Forces had to be called to bridge something urgently. These are also claims that the Congress should not forget.
Ma'am, one final question, and since I have you here and since you're from the state of Tamil Nadu, there has been a big issue there. A student has committed suicide because of the NEET exam. Subsequently, a couple of days after that, his father has also committed suicide. This has now become a big political issue there, with the Chief Minister saying he's going to boycott the at-home ceremony of the governor. Even in Karnataka, just moments ago, we got this word from the Chief Minister's speech there that they will not implement the national education policy from next year. The charge that opposition states have against your government is that you're politicizing education, you're politicizing history textbooks that our children learn from. How would you respond to that?
Zaka, you brought in too many things here. First, I want to say with absolute, from the bottom of my heart, children should be counseled not to take the extreme step. Passing or not passing in an exam is not end of life, not end of your career, not end of your future. I think in this, all of us will have to speak with the same voice. Students should be counseled and supported by everybody, teachers, social workers, parents, friends, everyone. And we do not want children to lose their precious lives for whatever reason. So, I do not want to politicize it. But when students from rural India, rural Tamil Nadu, have passed NEET and who cannot otherwise imagine getting into a medical college, are now entering into institutions, and as much as you are saying, I can give you that many examples of girls from rural India, boys from rural Tamil Nadu, girls from rural Tamil Nadu who have found seats in institutions because of NEET. So to rake up, and I'm not at all for a minute undermining the seriousness of an issue where a student loses his life. But for this, we should not immediately say, oh, that is the reason and that's why this student is dead. There are equally many more students who are also benefiting. So I think it's important for us not to lose perspective. I honestly do wish no student loses his life because of this or any exam. So that is one thing. You also brought in something else which was not related to the students and exams.
The national
boycotting
education
of
sorry.
the Raj Bhavan.
Sure, yeah. The at home, the boycotting
National
of the
education policy.
Yes.
Yeah, national education policy. Amazing that the Congress party wants to say this, or in Karnataka, or even the DMK wants to. I don't know if they have said it, but I'm saying this. National education policy is a very future-looking policy. Immense number of people have participated in stakeholders' consultation. It promotes education through your mother tongue. There is no imposition of any language. There is freedom to the student to pick and choose subjects which he feels that he has an aptitude for. Now, immediately, because such a versatile, well-researched, publicly consulted policy is brought in, only because it's brought in by Prime Minister Modi, we like to hate it. Because we dislike the Prime Minister, so we'll dislike any good thing that he does. NEP is a progressive and a very, very robust education policy. With all the goodness, people have taken it and seeing the potential of such an education policy. And above all, now coming to boycotting, Raj Bhavan or boycotting Rashtrapati Bhavan doesn't speak well for any responsible political party. These are constitutional authorities. You may have differences with them, and I think it is important to be a part of an invitation for a gathering by the Raj Bhavan or by the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Ma'am, I'm going to try. I know you will not be inclined to saying this publicly or on national television, but there is speculation that you, as well as a lot of other ministers in the government, are being asked by your party to get ready to fight the Lok Sabha elections. Have you been told by your party to get ready to fight as a candidate in the 2024 elections? I'll wrap up with that.
No, the party has not told me to participate in the election, but there are also options left to people who would want to contest in the Lok Sabha elections.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it open-ended. Thank you very much, Nirmala Sitharaman, for joining us here on CNN News 18. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So there you have the Union Finance Minister in that exclusive interview to CNN News 18 on the 77th Independence Day, defending the Prime Minister's speech, his call for a Viksit Bharat by 2047 to get rid of the social and political ills of dynastic politics, corruption and appeasement, drawing the distinction as to how the BJP, she believes, does not embodify or does not have these ills of corruption, appeasement and dynastic politics, whereas that is rampant and rife in the opposition alliance. Also talking about how her ministry in particular is dealing with the issue of price rise, particularly essential food items on the back of yesterday's CPI number, and also the whole framing of a Mazboot Sarkar versus a Khichdi Sarkar. The Mazboot Sarkar, whether it is putting an end or at least trying to put an end to terrorism from Pakistan, or whether it is ensuring that there are no serial bomb blasts, and of course the ongoing issue of dealing with the border situation with China, drawing the distinction between what Mr. Modi's government has done over the last 9 years and what has happened in the previous 70. That's a wrap. Thanks very much for tuning in. But news and updates continue right on the other side with my colleague Ridhima.